Welcome back. In Mauritius, the economy is predicted to expand by 4% in 2018, up from 2.9% this year, helped by improved performance in the construction. The Indian Ocean island, which markets itself as a bridge between Africa and Asia, is shifting an economy traditionally focused on sugar, textiles and tourism towards offshore banking, business outsourcing, luxury real estate and medical tourism. Statistics Mauritius said in a statement that construction was forecast to grow 9.5% from 7.5% in 2017. And Kuwait Petroleum Corporation has signed a 15-year liquefied natural gas import deal with Royal Dutch Shell plc to help the oil-exporting nation meet growing domestic energy demand. The sale purchasing agreement with Shell International Trading Middle East Limited will start in 2020. Shell has supplied Kuwait with a supercooled fuel since 2010 and declined to say how much gas is covered under the new contract. LNG could help meet Kuwait's domestic demand for power to run air conditioners during hot summer months and cut the amount of crude oil burned instead of exported for profit. The contract will cover 2 million to 3 million metric tons of LNG a year, priced at 11% below a Brent benchmark. And Uganda's November coffee exports rose 8.6% year-on-year. Newly planted trees in different parts of the country have been driving a jump in Uganda's coffee production and exports in recent months. Uganda is Africa's largest coffee exporter, and the commodity is the East African country's single largest source of foreign exchange. November shipments earned $49.4 million, down from $50.4 million a year earlier. The regulator, Uganda Coffee Development Authority, projected December exports to rise to 440,000 bags from 424,451 bags a year earlier from a main harvest in central and eastern regions, which account for around 55% of the country's annual crop. All right, let's look at what went wrong with Monsanto's genetically modified crop in Africa's #1 cotton grower, Burkina Faso. The country's GM experience, told by more than 3 dozen Monsanto insurers, farmers, scientists and cotton company officials, as well as in confidential documents, highlights a little-known quandary faced by genetic engineering.
In 2000, farmers in Burkina Faso, Africa's top cotton grower, were desperate. Their cotton fetched top prices because its high-quality fiber lent a luxurious sheen to clothing and bedsheets. But there was a problem. Pests and bollworms were threatening the crop. U.S. agrochemical company Monsanto proposed an answer: a genetically modified strain of cotton called Bulgut 2, which it had already introduced in America and was being marketed worldwide. The Burkina farmers agreed to a trial, and the country introduced seeds with the genetically modified gene in 2008. The resulting cotton was pest-free and the harvest more abundant. By 2015, 3/4 of all Burkina Faso's production was genetically modified, and it became a showcase for the technology among smallholders in Africa.
Truthfully, genetically modified cotton is not good today, it's not good tomorrow. When you produce genetically modified cotton in your farm, after 2 years, you cannot plant anything else on your land.
For Burkina Faso's cotton growers, genetically modified ended up as a trade-off between quality and quantity. For Monsanto, whose $13.5 billion in revenues in 2016 were more than Burkina Faso's GDP, it proved uneconomical to tailor the product closely to a market niche.
Our main demand was that the technological aspects that are found in the Burkinabe cotton fiber be maintained as it was. But when the first harvest campaign of the new variety of Burkinabe cotton came, the Institution for Environmental and Agricultural Research conducted an evaluation and found that the length of the fiber was short, and that has been mentioned in the report. We relayed the message to Monsanto, about it, and they told us that they had taken our queries into consideration and that they had taken steps to correct it in time for the sell campaign.
In 2010 to 2011, genetically modified cotton made up over half of production, but only 21% of the crop reached the previous quality standard.
We wanted to increase our production, so that is one of the reasons why we decided to use genetically modified cotton in our country. In July 2015, Monsanto wrote to the Burkina growers saying the quality problem has been offset by other benefits.
Burkina Faso's cotton continued to suffer. In 2014 to 2015, average cotton fibers from around the country were up to 2.29 millimeters shorter than the conventional strains. The cotton lost its premium pricing, and the impact was a drop in the value of its output of at least 3 cents per pound of cotton, or between 2 and 5% of the volatile global benchmark price. The country is now clawing back its reputation. In the 2016 to 2017 season, the first since its return to conventional cotton seeds, 98.8% of its production was graded as medium to long staple. And so far, the bollworms have not returned. If they do, Burkina Faso officials say they aren't turning their backs on genetically modified cotton, although the country does not use the technology presently.
And back here in Nigeria, the country has continued to explore options to optimize its agriculture potentials as a way of diversifying the revenue base of the nation. While this development has been commended in the global stage, one of the key players in the reforms process, the co-founder of AAC Foods, Ndidi Uneli, explains at a forum organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry why creativity and innovations are significant factors in the sector.
The education perspective, we're actually taught not to be innovative. If you challenge a teacher in the average Nigerian school, you will be marked down. And it doesn't matter whether it's an elite school or a public school. And so at Leap Africa, an organization I started in 2002, we've actually had to add creativity and innovation to our curriculum and teach our young people to stretch their minds and challenge the status quo. And I think that we have to incorporate this type of curriculum into every educational system in this country. And this is a challenge. We actually have a Social Innovators Award that we give at LEAP every year to young people. And oftentimes you see a copycat mentality, and you see that with SMEs in Nigeria. Somebody starts something and 10 other people follow. Not with any tweak, but exactly the same model. I work now in agriculture, and in agriculture we have not seen a lot of innovation in Nigeria. If you use the potato value chain, we're still using the same seeds that were introduced in 1970 in Nigeria today. There's been very little innovation in seed systems, in cultivation, in storage. Even the baskets we use to store our tomatoes. We've just introduced crates in the last few years, but the adoption rate is so low. We're still using baskets from 60 years ago.
And with that, we wrap up today's edition of the program. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago. Merry Christmas.